Hi, I'm John Force, founder and lead game designer for Roll for Surprise Games. Thank you for watching our How to Play Planet 313 video. The game that we're going to show you today does not have the final artwork, but it will not get in the way of the fun that we're going to have. So let's get right to it. How to play Planet 313. Here is the game board for Planet 313. The corners have each player's starting point, called the launch pad. In the middle is the goal, Planet 313. The space in between is packed with 4 rings that move in a clockwise direction throughout the game. They can both hinder and help with navigation. How cool is that? As the rings move, be sure to keep the white line between the telescope and Planet 313 lined up. This will keep the rings properly aligned throughout the game. As you navigate along the rings, you will find that the rings have ring coordinates and moon coordinates. They each have different effects on navigation and are referenced by name during the gameplay. What is the difference between a ring coordinate and a moon coordinate? The artwork clearly shows us where the moon coordinates are. The remaining spaces are all considered ring coordinates. The difference is the amount of ship movement value that is needed to progress to the next ring. So, for our example here, if we place the ship on this ring coordinate, it would require a 4 for it to jump to the next ring. Where if it was on the moon, then it would only require a 1 or more to go to the next ring. So the moons have a much better navigational advantage than the ring coordinates. Here are the event cards. Periodically throughout the game, an event will be announced. All movement stops for the resolution of the event. The event card is written in 2 parts. The first part is the main focus of the event. The second part is used only if the first part does not have any participants. Each part is spelled out how and to whom the event is applied. Though events most likely play out, if neither condition exists at the time of the event, it is simply discarded as a non-event and gameplay continues. Do notice the indicators on the left side. The yellow button with the 4 ships represents that this portion can be universally affected by all players. The green button with the single ship represents that this portion personally affects only the person that drew the card. Here is the set of dice that is used during gameplay. The red dice are called ship movement dice. The white dice are called ring movement dice. The black die is called the executive order die. During a player's turn, all of these dice will be rolled. The player then will act on all the dice during his or her turn. The player can complete these actions in any order that he or she chooses during the turn. Let's talk about the executive order die. This will roll one of 6 different executive orders that will help the player along the journey. These orders are re-roll. This order will allow the player to re-roll any 1 die, even the executive order die. +1. When the +1 is rolled, this order will add a value of 1 to any numbered die. Event. When event is rolled, this order requires the player to draw an event card sometime during their turn. Draw a card. When draw a card is rolled, this order allows the player to draw an extra Planet 313 card. Jump. When the jump is rolled, this order will allow the player to choose one of the following: to launch a ship off the launch pad, or the player can jump a ring from a ring coordinate or a moon coordinate, or make a perfect landing on a Planet 313, only if there is a ship on the purple ring. Finally, last but not least, is battle. When the battle is rolled, this order requires the player to take a ship under his or her control on the launch pad or in space and place it on an opponent's ship in space and engage that ship in battle as the attacker. We will show more on battles in a moment. If there are no ships in space to attack, this order gets ignored. The ring dice have two parts. The ring color die here on the left, and the one on the right is called the ring movement die. They work together to move the rings on the game board and a couple of other things as well. When a color is rolled, include the ring movement die, and this will be the cue to move the ring represented on the ring color die, the number of spaces showing on the ring movement die. In this case, it would show to move the blue ring one space. When words are rolled on the ring color die, the numbered ring movement die is not used. When an event is rolled, draw an event card sometime during the turn. When a science is rolled, the player receives a science token. We will talk about science tokens in a minute, but first we will finish the rest of the dice. The ship movement dice are used to move the ships. Each die represents a separate movement. They are never added together for a single movement. A player gets 2 ship movements per turn. The player can move 2 ships, each moving separately the distance shown on one ship movement die. Here we have a 2. 1, 2. And also a 3. 1, 2, 3. Or the player can move one ship with 2 separate movements. In this case it would be 2 and then 3. Here is where the science token comes into play. If the player has collected a science token or 2, ship movement can be adjusted by a plus or minus 1 for each token. The science token can only be used for its owner's ship movement. This will help with perfect landings, launches, and navigating to moons and to battles. With our example here, let's say that you have a ship that you want to move one space. If you have a science token, you could turn it in to change the 2 to a 1, and you would now be able to move that one space. There are 2 ways to collect science tokens. First is to roll the science side of the ring color die. The second, a player can forfeit movement and turn in both ship movement dice during the turn to receive 1 science token. Like that.